Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State. Bring you everything from breaking news.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like guys.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
This is Aloore Radio, transmitting from Ibadan.
Good morning, our dear esteemed listeners out there listening to our Aloore Radio transmitting from the GSM Studio Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism out with the Secretariat here in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. We are so elated and we are glad to know that you are out there listening to us from everywhere in the world, that you are listening to us. You are welcome to your program, The Head of Seven Speaks.
And I want to start with the saying from Colin Powell. He would say,
There are no secrets to success.
it is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. And on this note, I would want to welcome you again to this special edition of the Head of Service Speaks. My name is Aboye Dioju. We will be right back. You're welcome back to Head of Service Speaks here in Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM Studio Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Agodi Secretariat. As I said earlier before we went on that very short break, that this edition, the ninth edition of the Head of Service Speaks, is sure a very interesting one. Because why is it interesting, you would say? And as you already know before, that this program actually is geared towards fostering a relationship between the office of the head of service and the civil and public servants
in Oyo State. And knowing that and having that at the background of our mind, I would want to explain why today is a very special one. Today on the ninth edition, we here at Aloore Radio, we are actually celebrating a woman who I would describe as a go-getter, a trailblazer, an achiever, and a woman of substance here in Oyo State. We are so blessed to have a head of service that understands her onions. She is a woman that practically understands everything and anything about civil service. And at the same time, she is not a boss, but a leader. And why won't we celebrate her? Because she is bowing out of service. I'm sure this is a mixed feelings for us and for me here. Because as much as I celebrate her, and I'm happy and joyous that she will soon be buying out of active service, at the same time, we will miss her because she is not a boss, like I said earlier. She is a leader. And on that note, I would want to welcome you and welcome everyone listening and watching us from all over the globe. I want to introduce to you a woman of substance, a woman that is a trailblazer, a woman that every other woman should learn one thing or the other from, a woman that understands what it is to be a civil and a public servant. I would want to introduce to you here in Oyo State, our own head of service and president of Mrs. Ololade Ayola. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. You're very much welcome.
Thank you.
As I said earlier, today's program is special, and today's program is all about you, ma'am. We celebrate you.
Thank you.
We are highly honest. We are honored to have you as our head of service.
Thank you.
I said earlier that it's not about because you know of all about civil service and all that it takes, but you combine it with the milk of humanity
Thank
in
you.
disposing all your duty, and we really do appreciate it. And for that reason, we welcome you once again to the ninth edition of the Head of Service. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning once again.
Ma, I just want you to felicitate with our dear listeners because this program, you started it. It is your baby. And we are so glad that up till now it is still going on. And that is why I said it's the mixed feelings. This is your baby and the mother is almost growing. It's somehow a mixed feeling for us, but we are happy for you, ma.
Thank God.
We are happy.
Oh, thank
And
God.
for today, we just want you to share with us, ma'am, your experiences, your background, where you started, where you are now, and if you will honor us, ma'am, to know a little bit about, okay, what other steps are you planning to take even after the service? Ma, your honor, can you give us a brief introduction of yourself, ma'am?
Thank you very much. Thank you. To God be the glory in all that we do. Alhamdulillah, 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 Rabbil Alamin. We should always know that behind all of this, it is God, God, God. And so I am Amidat Ololade Agbola. And I'm from Ibadan. I'm from Ekolo compound, Okeodo, Okeoloku. I was born to the family of Alhaji Adekola Salahuddin, and my mother was Taibat, Alhaja Taibat Amokpe Adekola. I grew up. I started my early years at Kudeti. So I attended St. David's Primary School, Kudeti. And from there, I gained admission to Queen's School, Ibadan, up school.
Pass on the touch.
We must pass on the touch. And I must say that Queen's School actually shaped my life. When you look at the background from where I was coming from and getting admission to such a prestigious school, at that time, it's still prestigious. Well, at that time, it was one of the best in Ibadan, and it's still one of the best in Ibadan. So I gained admission to that place, and everything turned around.
Wow.
That environment taught me a lot of things, different from where I was coming from, and it's shaping some of the things that I do up to this time. So when you talk of alma mater, you must be able to say and acknowledge what you have gained from an institution that you have attended. So I give glory to God for that opportunity. And then from there, I proceeded to Obafemi Awolowo University, where it was possible for me also to gain some other attributes of life, which has also I've been able to use in my career. So to God be the glory. My background, I am from a polygamous home. My mother was the third wife. We are about 23 children, but my mother had 7. So in my my father, in my mother's side, I'm number 3. We have 5 girls and 2 boys. Thank God. My mother, my father, they're both late now. They're not here. So one thing that people don't know about me is that I, as a person, I didn't want to go to school. And I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to read at all. But I just have to give glory to my mother that persistently begged me to just go there and read for her. She said she wanted to have the opportunity to go to school. My senior sister was already in school, so I was always saying, my sister is in school, why do you want me to join? And so I give glory to God that I listened a bit to her because I didn't want to read, but she forced me to read. And it has been this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that insight into your background, because I believe people and even those in the studio are actually amazed to hear some of what you just said now. And one thing I picked out from what you said is that the role of mothers
Mm.
is really great in the society. Because one was, I was actually shocked when you said you didn't want to go to school.
Oh, it was an appeal that it was for her because she wanted to go to school. Because she was in their own family, she was a female child, and their own father believed that female should not go to school. So she didn't have the opportunity. She
And can
just
you imagine what the females are actually doing nowadays? That some still have that notion that
up
they
to now,
don't need.
some still have that notion, and it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that we should still have that kind of notion among our people that a woman's place is in the kitchen, and for you to operate in the kitchen, you don't need any qualification for it. No, so we just must use the opportunity to appeal, and all of us must carry we must be able to propagate this. That you see, female, we have seen so many female leaders. Though we don't have a president yet, we don't have a governor yet, but we're going there. But we have those people that have performed. I don't want to start mentioning names. So that when you see a lady that has performed, just let's emulate it. I'm happy that we have some male, that some families that have 3 girls, 4, all girls, and they are doing well. And they're able to showcase the girls that this is what I have. We should just encourage our people, especially within our community, that they should allow the female to have the same opportunity with me.
Thank you so much for that. And before I go, our listeners out there listening to Aloore Radio, please you can join us on our different social platforms at Aloore Radio on the Facebook, on your YouTube, and even on the TikTok. You can join us at Aloore Radio. And for you, those that would want to call in on this program, our studio line remains 0903 985 3751. The studio lines again 0903 985 3731. Before I go on with the line of questioning, would I would not but mention what you said about your alma mater, your secondary school, Queen School, of which your presenter is also from this thing. So, as I said, pass on the touch.
Pass on the touch.
Up school.
Up school.
Thank you so very much, ma. Now, ma, let's now move. You've given us an insight into your family and educational background, ma. let's move to the career background. Was being a civil servant, was this your choice, or when you just found yourself there? How did it all begin, ma'am? How did it all begin?
Being a civil servant,
Yes, ma'am.
it was not planned.
Was not planned.
It was not planned. It happened. How it happened? Well, just let's say it happened. So I got a form, but I had encouragement from home. I came to I was out doing my project work, and I came to University of Ibadan for some data collection there. And I met a friend too that came there and said, after we left the library at University of Ibadan, was coming to secretariat to get a form. I said, form? What kind of form? He said, recruitment form. Oh, let's go together. And I came, and I got the form. She was feeling something. I was just looking at what she was feeling, and I felt the same thing. I just followed. I didn't know. I had somebody from the secretariat, an uncle had worked there. I've had people that we were living in the same house that had worked here at the secretariat. I just know that, oh, once she share any secretariat, that kind of thing. And I love the way they dress. We used to have one Mr. Additional that was living in our house. I was a tenant in our house, but I didn't know whether I was a clerk or something, but it was always in suit coming to the secretariat. So it was no longer with us. So when that person brought me to secretariat, I was just looking around. Oh, this is where they call the secretariat, and it's far from where we were staying. But I just said, let me fill the form. It was the person that came to my house again after some months. They say, have you submitted the form? I said, I just placed it somewhere. Fortunately, he met my mother at home and said and told her about it, and my mother encouraged me that, can't you remember Mr. This and that used to live here? He was in the secretariat. She secretariat me, go and submit. And I came to submit it. And I had further assistance from some other people that I might not be able to mention names. But I got that appointment. Unfortunately, the person that brought me did not get appointed. You moved to Lagos and got another appointment in Lagos State. But that was how I got to the secretariat, and how I filled the form to become an administrative officer, and I was appointed an administrative in May 1988.
I was
1988.
trying to think where I was.
We thank God. That's why it's 35 years now. By Monday, it's going to be 35 years. And so it's just you just have to thank God for the opportunity. But when we came in, and I saw others that were appointed with me, we were a set of 16 or 15 of us, and I saw them. I was the only female among them.
Wow.
And the discussion, because they didn't post us on time after the recruitment. We were all in one room, and our governor's office up there. And we used to discuss. The discussion was always oh, I can't stay long here. Oh. 5 years, I'll go. Someone was saying 5 years. Someone was saying 10 years. Somebody was even saying that he's representing a community, that his community donated him. So he has to satisfy the dictate of that community. And it was interesting. I just thought that, okay, I didn't want to come and work before. So if all of them are going by 5 years, definitely I will not stay. So I got attached to that notion that we are not going to stay. All of us will not stay for long. But to God be the glory. Most of us we stayed for 30 years, 25 years, and some left after 5 years actually. But we thank God. We thank God.
Here we are.
We are.
And I'm so super glad that we are not just exiting or moving out on the civil service at the lower level of the career ladder.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this very, very esteemed position.
Yes. It's very
in the
interesting.
career prayer. And this is a career path that you just stumbled.
I stumbled on it, and it has paid off.
Thank God. To God be the glory. And you mentioned that you entered as administrative officer. Ma, as you started as a young civil servant then, I believe, what are the challenges you face from colleagues and even superior officers during that time? Because we would want to learn from that, how to
Yeah, thank you very
manage.
much. That's very good because
The
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 challenge.
challenges we face at that time is different from what's operating now. The challenge, the one I know I had was I was posted to the Ministry of Establishment and Trade. That was my first posting. After the recruitment, we had an orientation, like, and postings were done. I was posted to Ministry of Establishment, and I got there. Everything looked strange. The challenge was the use of English. The English that we use, or the language of the civil service, is quite different from where you're coming from. As a fresh graduate, you want to show off, like, oh, you can, your skill, thank you, your skill. And then I will just, they give me a memo. I met somebody, the very first boss I had. We will share the same room. It was a chief admin officer. I was just an admin officer. And we shared one room. And it was the one that the first thing assignment would give me would just bring files like that and say, read. I didn't know, am I going to have an exam where you give me files to read? Just, he said it was just giving me the opportunity to know what goes on in Ministry of Establishment. And establishment was a place where you have to know the rules and regulations that guide the civil service. You have to know a lot of things. Your memo must be tailored towards the rules. What kind of rules will you apply to a certain situation? You cannot just write, oh, this person is applying for this and so just grant. No, some languages that you have to use. So you have to just develop yourself in learning this of these languages. We have the administrative language that you must use in your memo. We have the language that suits a particular purpose that you must have. So that's what we started from, learning learning. And there was no this computer, there was no Google that you can go to. There was nothing like that. What you can go to is, first of all, you have all the rules and regulations that guide the civil service. It was the Ministry of Establishment was the custodian, Civil Service Commission establishment custodian. And so you as a civil servant that you're working there and as an administrative officer, all those things must be your Bible that you read every day. So the first challenge was, how do you know? How do you not get? I have come to work, not article when university now, and they're not asking me read this. So luckily, I had a very good boss that was ready to teach some of these things, and I had another person that gave me a support. Initially, I was not happy with the situation. I will write thinking that, oh, I'm coming from university. I've written good English. And this, my typist, I had a typist then. It will now come back, after typing it, will come back with a different memo that I've written. I say, ah, chief, nǹkan tí mo kọ́kọ́ yìí nà. And the boy saying, kọ́kọ́. What do you mean? He said, instead of using this, you have used this, I've used this. So it was always, I see it that way, and I didn't get annoyed until somebody now said he's junior to me because he was a typist. So he's not the same cadre with me, but I've gained a lot from him. I gained a lot from him. From that, I will repeat the same language that I use when next. So you bring it back and it's well corrected, and I'm happy. I'm good to go. So we had from your boss, you could learn. From your subordinates, you could learn. If you don't want to close the door. If you close the door and say, oh, I know it all, they will leave you. And then when you make mistakes, you're on your own. So in the civil service, is a teamwork. Don't throw away the suggestions of your subordinates. And at the same time, those that are your seniors, what they are trying to tell you might be just to mentor you so that you will know the best way to do some of those things.
Thank you so very much, Your Honor. This is really insightful, and I believe those that are listening to us out there are learning one or two things from the experience of our head of service here in
Oyo
Oyo
State.
State.
I would want to say that she started from the background, from the home. Encouragement started from the home front. And even when she got into the service,
Encouragement still begins and still continues. For more, I want to appeal for you to please stay tuned to Aloore Radio. We will be right back after this very short. Okay, before we go on that short break, there's somebody on the line. Let's quickly take that. Hello? Hello? Yes, good morning. You're on to Aloore Radio.
Good morning.
Yes, please. Okay. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for being a regular caller.
Thank you so much. Okay, I would want to go on a very short break, but you're still listening to the head of thought. I think I'm not going here. The head of thought who wants to speak to her right now. Let me take this also. Hello? Hello?
Yes, you're on to Aloore Radio. Yes, who am I speaking? What's the name and where are you calling from? Oh, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, PS Energy. Thank you for calling.
I will pause the video. But we will be right back after this very short break.
Base now. Hear this. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
Public service announcement. The Oyo State government, under the leadership of Governor Oluseyi Makinde, Oyo State Primary Health Care Board, and UNICEF, are commending the good people of Oyo State for the success of COVID-19 vaccines, first and second jabs. Not ending there, the World Health Organization (WHO) has introduced the third jab of COVID-19 vaccines: AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer vaccines. Also, those that are taking the two jabs of the vaccine can go to various health centers or designation points to receive the vaccines before they can enjoy third jab. 18 years above are mandated to receive COVID-19 jabs, so also care mothers and pregnant women. COVID-19 is free, safe and effective. For inquiries, call 08033 521781. 08033 521781. This message is from Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board and UNICEF.
Base now. Hear this. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State. We bring you everything from breaking news.
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music,
I'm no vibe, girl, I just want me with you like guys.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
welcome back to the program, The Head of Service Speaks. And with me here in Aloore Radio Studio, I still have a very, very substantial woman, a woman of great integrity. Still, I'm still chatting. And I'm so super, super, super honored at this very moment. If you can actually see the wings on my back, you know I'm actually flying. And I'm super happy to have this woman with me in the studios today. I'm talking of no other person than the Oyo State Head of Service, Mrs. Agwola.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us. And thank you for all encouragement and details you've actually given us on this program. Ma, we want to move on because I know many women out there. First, we are super glad that it was your mother that actually encouraged you. And here you are today. So, ma, I would want you to also encourage some other women out there that are civil servants. Like, you joined as a young civil servant. I know, if I'm permitted, that time, ma, you will be gorgeous, looking so gorgeous because you are still gorgeous here.
Oh.
That time, if I can use that word, woman, talent. At that time when you were younger in those days, ma. So, ma, how are you able to actually balance your career, the home front, and any other aspect you want us to know? And you're here today, ma. How did you do that?
Well, as I said earlier, that some things are not planned. If you recall, when we were discussing before you started this, you gave one quote.
Okay, yes, ma.
Yeah, planning. That you start with planning, and I tell you that some things are just designed. They are not planned. Yeah, some. If you go to that kind of theory, it will take some time. But just let's take it. As a career person and the home front, it's just the grace of God. Because I joined the service as a Miss Adekola, and I can imagine no attachment, nothing, and then after that, you get married, and you have the home front, and you have your work to do. Luckily, the civil service is one of the best for ladies. Yes, we resume by 8 a.m. and we know we're going to close by 4. At that time, as a young, it's now that you cannot say you close by 4. But as a young employee, I know I'll close by 4. So my own front can still start from there. And then that 8 a.m., the traffic in 1988 is not as what we have now. So I can leave where I was living by 7 and still get here by 7:30. So it was easy at that time. And we were able to cope. Then when children started coming, what we ensured at that time was to just ensure that we place our kids in schools that are in the vicinity of the secretariat or in the vicinity of your home. You consider where you live, whether you put your child there or you put the child in a school very close to the secretariat. So as you're coming, you drop your child there, and when you close, you go to pick, and the home front starts again. So the support of spouse was necessary, and we thank God the support was there, and so there was no friction. We were able to balance it while we were young, while we were still growing in the civil service. But later on, when you start to have assignment, where you have become responsible, because we started to be called directors as early as our level 13 position. We were given assignments that were above our grade level, and that kind of thing will entail extra hour in your office, extra time to do some things, even to take some of this work home. So it has to be that you have the support of your husband to be able to do that. But thank God, the support is good, and it has assisted and enabled us to go to where we are. If the support is not there from the home front, I don't know what could have happened. Some people did not have the support, and it will be a huge friction balancing it. So what is important is for the home front to have to give support. Your kids must give you support, because when you want to start to work at home and you take your files home, if they are disturbing you, you might not be able to concentrate. So they will understand that, oh, what is she doing? She's on her files, and they leave you. So thank God for home support. Well,
Yeah,
well.
I sincerely thank God for you, Mark, because as you said, some are not having
Yes.
like that. But even from what I actually explained, it takes two to tango.
Yes.
It takes two, and I would want to sincerely thank you, Ma, because during those times, as much as your spouse was actually understandable, you two were actually understandable,
Yes,
and you
yes.
two were actually submissive.
Mean that your role as a woman is not left behind.
Yeah.
Not because you are working, that's why you cannot do what's expected of you as a woman, a mother in the house.
I would want women out there, civil and public servants, to actually learn from this, that no matter the position you might have
Wow.
attained, here is the head of service girl letting you know that the home front. I told you she's not a boss, she's a leader. She understands and she has the milk of humanity in her. She knows everything and how to balance things. And I would want to encourage all women as civil and public servants to emulate this. As we continue in this talk, because this is not a question, we're just learning from the experience
Oh, thank God.
and actually rejoicing with you on this very occasion. They said there are always two sides to a coin, the good and the bad. What do you want to share with us now? And this your journey and this your career path. Why? When would you actually say, or can you remember that? Okay, this is not the so good period of my journey. And is there anyone you remember that? Wow, this is like an exciting moment during the career journey. Now, would you want to share it with us
Thank you very much. The good, the good, the good.
now? Oh,
And God even said it's not every time that it will be so. So there are times when you even the sky is even darker on one
yeah.
part, the blue side and the white one too at times. So the civil service experience, my experience, and where I am today has been so good. So appointments is one of the good things that you get in the civil service. Once you rise through the rank and you rise to become a director, that is where it ends. So by the time you have an appointment, starting from a general manager or a permanent secretary, that is the icing on the cake. That is the best thing, and that will be I consider that was the happiest day in my life. And it was good to be appointed a permanent secretary, and later on to be appointed as head of service. I'm sorry to say it, but you must know that at a particular time, only one person will become the head of service. So I was not the best. I was not the most the brilliant that we're going to use. If we will do exam, will I be able to pass? So that kind of appointment gives you the opportunity to say thank God. So it was a good feeling. I had a good feeling. When it was announced, I always remember that very day. I was on this corridor. I was in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the permanent secretary, Minister of Information, Dr. Lanrewaju, came to visit me in my office. And we are close, we are the same information and youth and sport. So he will come like that. I was just seeing him off. I left my phone on my table that I was just seeing him off to his own office. He came and I would follow him again to that barrier. And he was with his own phone. And then we got to the corridor and we started talking again. Somebody met us there and we were talking. And then he just answered this call. And what I just heard him saying was, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. You know, Dr. Larry, why you compared to me? And I was standing in front of him. He just carried me. I said, what is happening? Well, the corridor, okay, what's happening? He just said, Alhamdulillah, just sujud. Put your head down. Say Alhamdulillah. What happened? He was the one that had a phone call, but he was telling me to say all this. What happened? He said, His Excellency Governor Isaiah Kajimobi has just announced your appointment as head of service. I said, what is that? He didn't hit me. I didn't know. He said, head of service. He was just shaking me like this. He dragged me. We went back to my own office. And I said, head of service. We had just been announced at ESCO. Head of service. So I should started praying. I said, okay, thank you. And from there, the whole thing started. And that's where we are today. So, in terms of good, those are the good things that you can talk of. There are so many other things. I just picked appointment. That's opportunity that you have when you are in an office. It's something that you cannot get outside. You can be in an office and you have the opportunity to even have meetings with governor. You meet the governor, you meet, well, as far back as when I was a junior director, I was already having meetings where I would meet other people, right, urbans and things like that. So that kind of opportunity, that's because I'm a civil servant. That's a good side of it. I can go to some offices and say, I was a director of budget for some time, and I used the opportunity. I went somewhere and they say I should introduce myself. I'm director of budget for your state. I don't know the meaning. I just use it, and doors were opening for me. I was in Abuja, and so that kind of things are good things that you gain from being a civil servant. Use your table well. It doesn't mean that you use your table to make fraudulent activities or to do some things that will tarnish your image, the image of the civil service itself. But you can use your table to gain some attention or to get what you are actually looking for. Some people that have money in their pocket, they will not get it. But just mention it. I was in the Ministry of Finance, and I was representing the state in some agencies of government. In some of the corporations we had, when I was in Parastatal Department, I always attend the promotion meeting. I always attend the board meeting. So I met all their board members. So there are so many good sides to being a civil servant if you use it well. What you get to know is not what you go to school to learn. This is a college. This is a university. The secretariat, but depends on how you want to make use of it. So whatever table that you hold, your table, you will see that people from outside will come there, and they will remember you if you treat them very well. So for the bad side of it, to every coin, and you said, we have a bad experience, and most of those things that you might consider as bad might be things that would build you up to have to trust and things that you do. I remember a situation when I was in Teaching Service Commission. I stayed in Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, for about 3 or 4 years. There was one time we had a thought of auditing of teachers, and it was resolved at the State Executive Council that we must pay all teachers through checks. And we had about 13,000 or something teachers at that time, and we are all to issue checks, and I was a signatory to the account. So we started with schools. Each school, you write the checks, give to them to go and distribute. Just want to know the number of teachers. It was far back, they didn't think of the usage of ICT or anything like that, but just the manual, that maybe if we pay manual, anybody that does not show will know that that person is not on the nominal roll. Because you have to submit some things before we issue the checks. I was issuing checks, and we just got a call from our bank that, it's a salary account, and we know the limit of every civil servant. For among the teachers, the principal, level 16, level 15, 16, and we know the total sum. They just got 4 checks. One was 80 million, one was 8 million, 7 million, or 4 million. There were 4 checks that had huge amount of money, totaling 46, I think it was 46 million. No. So the banker said they have honored 2 and they had 2 left. What should they do? My immediate boss was Mr. Akintunde, Tony Akintunde. He just called me and said, Kilo Nshele, check 8 million, 18 million. He said it's not possible. Some people have gone to clone the check for Tesco. And the next thing we saw policemen in our offices. We were arrested and were taken to the police station to go and write statement. And when the 4 checks were showing, my God, it was my signature. I said, this is my signature. He said, oh, it's your signature. You are going to be detained. My Oga, to your signature, they're going to be detained. Well, thank God they carried out a very good investigation. I was our staff, the clerk in the registry, 2 clerks, account clerk, were involved. They arrested them because they went. Some people are just not smart enough. They went physically to collect 4 million, and then the CCTV camera of the bank. So that's that kind of thing. We stayed. We were supposed. They will give. At least they bailed us out that day, but we kept on going to the police station. So that I would say that was one of the bad side of it. But I would say the good side of it is more than the bad. Overwhelms the bad ones.
Thank you so much for that. I wanted to, for those listening to us out there, you can still follow up on the studio line. It's 09039 Again, 09039 We are still on the head of service speak, and we are still with the your state head of service, Mrs. Ololade Abola. Your Honor, ma'am, I would want you to briefly share how you were able to achieve so much, especially being the head of service in Oyo State under this present administration. How was it? How enjoyable and how sexy was it?
Are you? I don't know. I didn't get the question very well.
Under this present administration.
Our GSM.
Our GSM.
And the last time we were talking, I said GSM, when you mention it to different people, it means different things. So a pensioner, it means something else. To us as civil servants, immediately you mention GSM, we remember on the 25th. And so it's different. And to those politicians in their own circles, means something else to them. So I have been lucky. I have been, how will I say it? I think I'm the most, I don't want to be so, I'm not a politician. We are not supposed to be. I don't want to blow a trumpet that is not mine. But I can say I've been lucky that I have to work with GSM, Governor Seyi Makinde. There has been administrations. And I was appointed by the last administration. So I stayed, I think it was just for 5 days in the last administration before this one came in. So you can imagine the kind of fear that I will have. And then when His Excellency was elected, Governor Seyi Makinde, it was out there that, oh, he has never been a councillor, he has never been this, he has never been that. How will you run the state? So we that we were civil servants, we were afraid that somebody that has been a private person all this while, will he be able to understand the workings? Because we civil servants, we guard some things jealously, and we want to have somebody that have knowledge of what we do. But we thank God. That's why I say I'm lucky. We can't have it all. But His Excellency has been a very listening person. He will listen to you. He might have his own, he might have made up his mind that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But if you are able to convince him, you are lucky. You will get you will get what you are requesting for done for you. So, I will say, because of his interest in the civil service and his resolve to take care of workers. It has been good. Relationship has been good with Governor Sheyi Makinde.
And now that we are rounding off the program, I would want you, Ma, to like give the civil and the public servants your parting words.
Hmm.
What you want to tell us
Hmm. I thank God for the opportunity, and that I will be 35 years in the civil service of Oyo State on Monday, and that I will be exiting the service. It's a sort of mixed feeling. I've been thinking, will I not get to the secretariat before turning back each morning? Because somewhere that you've been going for the past 35 years, I just hope I will remember that, oh, just stay on bed, calm down, you're not going to work. And so I have shared my experience. And the most important thing that I want us as civil servants to know is that we should be dedicated to our duties. I was speaking somewhere yesterday, and I said, if you do your bit on your table and the other person will do his or her own bit too, we will have a good system. The system has been good to us. The opportunity that we have. When I joined the service, I didn't join, I just explained how I joined. I didn't join as head of service. I joined from the very low cadre, very low cadre, and I've been able to move on to get to where I am today. So let us have enough patience to wait for what the system postings. Just let us have the decorum within ourselves to say the most important thing that should be at our back, at the back of our mind is loyalty, dedication, hard work. We need to put in a lot because the public there, we are the face of not only Governor Sheyi Makinde that is in this administration now, we are the face of the civil servant. If somebody comes to hospital for a particular medical attention, and if that nurse is not doing it well as it's supposed to be done, yeah, it is going to be on the whole of the civil service. They just generalize that our civil servants here won't fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́. If a teacher collecting money that is illegal collection, it's not just you and your family that's putting at this effort, but the whole system itself. Because that person, that family that has come and have to go and look for that money you're asking for, they will say civil servants are like this. They won't even mention your name. They might not even know the name of that teacher. So I just want to appeal to all of us: dedication to duty, loyalty to the system, and the support for this administration. Where another 4 years is starting, we've benefited a lot from the first 4 years. You recall that we have a backlog of promotions. You can rise up to grade level 17 in the civil service. We have done some other things because that freedom was there for getting their promotion were removed. And those are the things that will ensure that you put in your best. You can only appeal, let us put in our best. Do your best on your table. We don't have to close the secretariat gate before you will know that you should be at your desk by 8. And if it takes you beyond 4, please just sacrifice the time. It's just not. We will see again. The Lord will be with you all. Thank you very much.
That was very touching. As I said, it's a mixed feeling, but we want to really appreciate you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Honorable Commissioner here in the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Honorable Wakilu Olatibosun, we really do appreciate you. And on behalf of my own here also, at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Mr. Yushala Ujili, we really appreciate you on behalf of all the directors and all the deputies and all the working staff here in the ministry. We're felicitated you. We appreciate you, Ma. We honor you so much. And we are going to miss you.
Thank you.
We are really going to miss you. We are going to miss you. On that note, we've come to the end of this wonderful edition with the Oyo State Head of Service here in Oyo State, Mrs. Olalabi Agbola. And she didn't come alone to the studios today. She is in company of the permanent secretary in the studios with our Anna. Also here with our Anna is the PS Oyo State Hospitals Management Board and person of Dr. Muftau Adebisia Yola is also here with us in the studio. Also here in the studio is the PS Ministry of Agriculture, Otumba, and here also is the Coordinating Director, Ministry of Public Works, Mr. F. Omokemi, and also the SA to the Head of Service herself is also here in the studio, and person of Mr. Elisha Olarami. I also have here in the studio our director from the Ministry of Information Culture, Director of Finance and Accounts, Mrs. Georgia. She also is here with us in the studio and um, other members of staff of the ministry. On this note, I want to appreciate you once again.
Um,
The head of service speaks continues,
it's
but we
continue.
will miss you.
Thank
And we will
you.
all wish you the very best in your endeavor as you move on. And because I know you're just beginning again, and we
Okay.
wish you the best in everything you lay your hands to do. On that note, we've come to the end of